الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيد الخلق أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن اتبعه بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى الذي باركنا حوله لنريه من آياتنا. Israa and Miraj is not just one huge miracle in the history of mankind, but it is a series of unprecedented miracles in the history of mankind, one after the other, till all together we have the most miraculous journey that mankind had ever seen. Why a miracle? Why would Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala suspend the laws of nature to create a miracle that humans never seen before? It is a sign of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon ourselves to tell us that this person that I suspended the laws of nature for, this is the one who speaks on my behalf. This is the one who brings you my guidance, and this is the one who brings you my mercy. The word prophet or Nabi, even in the English language, means originally in the Greek language, the one who speaks on behalf of. So a miracle, like the miracle that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave to Musa alayhi salam, when he split the sea into two gigantic mountains of water, saved him from the most tyrannical army in the world and drowned that army. Or when Isa alayhi salam was given the power with the aid of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to raise the dead, to cure the blind and the diseased. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, this is one of the features that maybe some of us are not aware of. There's not one single miracle that was given to a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam did not have, and this some, which is the topic of an entire lecture, inshallah. So, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's physical miracles, subhanallah, are astounding and many. But what about the, subhanallah, the miraculous journey of Israa and Miraj? In the beginning, subhanallah, it is a miracle after a miracle. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it a miracle to the people of the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the people behind it, and subhanallah, a miracle today. Even new sciences and new advancement in technology are telling us even tremendous miracles that for the past 1,500 years, people were not aware of. For example, starting from the name, Israa, and my brother Abu Zaman pointed to this. Many scholars noticed the double or the repetition of the meaning at night. Isra in the Arabic language is to travel at night. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not say, Subhana alladhi asra ba'abdihi min al-masjid al-haram al-masjid al-aqsa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Subhana alladhi asra ba'abdihi laylan. So what is the story with Subhana alladhi, praises be and glory be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who traveled his worshipper at night? Scientists would tell you one of the benefits of space exploration, that when astronauts went to outer space, the immediate outer space, they noticed that it's pitch black. You know, if you go outside and look at the sky, this is what space, outer space, looks like day and night. So not only that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala traveled Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam at night, but it's at night in another place where it's always night. How would Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam know this 1,400 years ago? That's one thing. Piece of information that outer space is pitch black. Just discovered probably in the 60s. The second part is the name Miraj, another miracle also. What is Miraj? Miraj comes from the Arabic word araja. Araja is to travel or move in a curved way, in a slanted way. Einstein relativity theory proved that in space, in outer space, light cannot travel in a straight line. When you travel at the speed of light, you have to travel in a curved way. Not only that, you go throughout the Quran. Anytime when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaking about traveling from a destination to the other in heavens, the verb always is araja or ma'raj. For example, تعرج الملائكة والروح إليه في يوم كان مقداره 50,000 سنة. How would Prophet Muhammad ﷺ know 1400 years ago that when you travel in space, you have to travel in a curved way? But then a question comes in, how, we're talking about the speed of light, traveling at the speed of light. Where was the speed of light at the time of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ? SubhanAllah, what was the name of the creature that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put on earth to take Prophet Muhammad ﷺ to Jerusalem and then to the highest heaven? Al-Buraq. What is the root word of Buraq? Barq, lightning. As a matter of fact, the closest English word that I could find to translate Buraq is the lightning arc. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ himself, when he described the movement of Buraq, was describing a travel at the speed of light. He said, when he leaps, his hooves reaches ما انتهى إليه بصره. يقع حافره عندما انتهى إليه بصره. Imagine when you stand in a desert. The end of the horizon to your eyes is like 100 miles away, 200 miles away. When the Buraq would leap, the next second that his hoof would touch the ground, it would be at the end of that horizon. That's the speed of light. How can Muhammad know this? And subhanAllah, the miracle is not that he went to Jerusalem and came back at the same night. If you have a private jet and they don't hold you at the security lines at the airport, subhanAllah, you can go to Jerusalem from Mecca and come back the same night. The speed by which he went there is a tremendous speed. And this was a miracle at their time because they said we whipped the livers of our camels just to make it in 1 month. How is it possible that it started on the same night? So that was a miracle to tell the people that he is the Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How was that miracle certified? When he came back, as my brother Rauf Zaman had mentioned, they asked him, you know what, he said he went to the farthest mosque. Describe it to us. They asked him how many entrances are to Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even though it wasn't night, brought the vision of the true picture for him, so he counted the entrances and told him 8. Exactly the number. Not only that, he's seen a caravan that did not arrive at the time, and he said, I seen that caravan, and described it to him exactly. So to them, it had to be that this is a prophet of God because all laws of nature was suspended to them. Is that enough of a miracle? When Prophet Muhammad ﷺ went to Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa, imagine all the prophets that are gone thousands of years that have passed away. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought him into Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. And to show the status of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ led the entire prophets of God into prayers. And some people sometimes say, in the Quran we say, لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله. We do not discriminate or differentiate between the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How we always say, Sayyid al-Khalq wa Ashraf al-Mursaleen. Because Prophet Muhammad had the most difficult and the biggest burden of the message of all the prophets of God. It's the entire message and word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala complete and altered, totally completed, totally perfected to all mankind. Not only to his people, not a message that would be, subhanAllah, lost after a certain time after the scriptures, but the entire message that brought the honor and the account of all the prophets to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala complete once and for all and forever. Other miracles, the only human being ever and will ever see heaven, Jannah, with his own eyes, in details, and hellfire with his own eyes and details, and come back to tell us and describe it to us in pinpoint accuracy, was Prophet Muhammad. No one was that. Why? That is a mercy of Prophet Muhammad, and a mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon him and upon ourselves, so we know what is the reward and what is the punishment. If we say a place called Jannah, and the description of the Quran of Jannah is plenty, but cannot be compared with the pinpoint accurate descriptions of paradise of Prophet Muhammad. Even the pebbles, the sizes, subhanAllah, pinpoint accuracy. And I advise every one of us to read about the description of Jannah by the Prophet Muhammad, because that keeps your eye on the prize. You know, nobody gets into a competition and works so hard and he doesn't know what will he get if he actually wins. You need to teach yourself what Jannah is about, and you need to scare yourself with the horrible things of hellfire that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, as a mercy to mankind, warned us about it. SubhanAllah, as if you're walking in a street and there is like a big hole that if you're not paying attention you would fall in and kill yourself. The question is not why the hole is there. The question is, you thank the person who will tell you, watch out, hold on, do not get there, you're going to lose your life. And that's what Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا شَاهِدًا وَمُبَشِّرًا وَنَذِيرًا. He gave us the warning of that. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ had conversations with the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every heaven, from the lowest heaven to the heaven higher and higher and higher, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ had conversations with the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and learned and taught us about it in school in the books of Sirah. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was elevated to a status that even Jibreel alayhi salam did not reach. When it came to Sidratul Muntaha, where Jannatul Ma'wa is, Jibreel alayhi salam did not come forward. He said, if I go forward, I will be burned from the light of the face of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put a certain veil between him and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam alone, on his own, went forward and Jibreel alayhi salam stayed back. And why is that? The entire conversation was not about the ordeals of the persecution of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam on earth. The entire conversation was not about what would happen in the future or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The entire conversation about the greatest thing. That is the pillar of our deen. That is the ordinance of salah upon ourselves. Salat al-Deen, the utmost pillar of Islam, is our salah. And that is for us to understand the importance and the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala of salah upon ourselves, that it is given to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam at the highest level of the highest level, even when the great angel Jibreel alayhi salam in a place that is so subhanAllah high that he could not reach. Imagine when I hear the word of prayer, should I pray or should play on the internet or finish my phone call or finish the movie and so on and so forth of what happened after that. The other thing is, subhanAllah, people say, you know what, how is it possible that this could happen? Especially when Hani, who was the sister of Ali ibn Abi Talib, the cousin of Prophet Muhammad, said that when Prophet Muhammad left for Israa and Miraj and came back, his bed was still warm. So that means that it's like probably a few moments. How is it possible that you go and Masjid al-Aqsa and you pray with the prophets and you go from heaven to heaven and have conversation with the prophets and go there and speak with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and see hellfire and see paradise and then come back within 2 seconds? As a matter of fact, some people tried to outsmart the text and said this was just a vision or a feeling or a ru'ya, a premonition of Prophet Muhammad. But still we go by the text, our religion is by the text. The ayah said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take Prophet Muhammad in bodily form and traveled him through Israa and Miraj. The mistake that people make here, and subhanAllah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as if he is answering them, the first word in the surah is subhan. Praises be and glory be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his powers, limitless powers. So we're talking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala using his ability to enable Prophet Muhammad to go through all that, to experience all that, to take him to all these high places. We're talking about the ability of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not that of Prophet Muhammad. And subhanAllah, one of the scholars used the example. He said, you know what, when I tell you that there's a baby, a 5-year-old baby, went up 30,000 feet in the sky and flew like 500 miles an hour. Would you believe me? And people said, of course not. What do you mean baby flies up 30,000 feet? And he said, no, you would believe me, I told you that he was with his parents in a plane. We're not talking about the abilities of the baby. We're not talking about abilities of a human being. We're talking about the abilities of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when you doubt that, you're doubting the abilities of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who created heavens and earth, and a universe that is 13.8 billion light years wide. You think he's not able to nullify the veils of time, distance, space, and time continuance for his Prophet? Of course. So even people accusing or doubting that ability and that event of Israa and Miraj, what they're doing is they're doubting the abilities of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They have a lack of vision and iman and knowledge of the abilities of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that are, subhanallah, limitless. Israa and Miraj, subhanallah, is one of the most fascinating journeys and miracles of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And subhanallah, if you look at the books of Seerah, especially the descriptions of every heaven, the details of Jannah, the details of hellfire, subhanallah, it is astounding. And no one night, no one single speech would be enough, subhanallah, to fulfill the glory of knowledge that is in Israa and Miraj. I advise everyone to read about it.